All right, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And before we get started, there's not everybody there. Before we get started, I'm going to have you guys just share 3 of your top concerns about losing weight or exercising or eating healthy on a consistent basis. Because we all know that we all have similar struggles, but sometimes depending on how our lifestyle is set up, sometimes we feel like we're alone in those struggles. What's wrong with them to make other people feel like, okay, well, I'm not the only one. So, Sash, go ahead and share what are your 3 top obstacles to eating healthy and exercising on a consistent basis.
So for me, it's time. When I'm on the road and I didn't bring any snacks with me, it's cheaper to buy like a cheeseburger at McDonald's than a salad, and that's one of my biggest things is time. Like if I forget to bring my snacks, like I have to get something on the road, I'm starving or whatever. I guess motivation as well. I was exercising before, and then I got into a car accident, and then I couldn't exercise, and I gained some weight, and I'm just struggling to find that motivation to get back into it. So I gained like 20 pounds since my accident. It's kind of like a downer for me. And then I don't know if this is silly or not, but like my period is like obstacle because when I'm about to get it, when I'm on it, all I want is like chips and chocolate and pop. And I try so hard not to crave in, but I have to. So
okay.
Obstacles.
Okay, so time is a concern of yours, and when you're on the road, you typically will carry things like a cheeseburger or get a cheeseburger as opposed to carrying a salad. And motivation, you said you were in a car accident and you had lost 20 pounds after the car accident because I guess you weren't able to exercise quite as frequently as you wanted to. And then you said another concern is when you're on your period, your cravings significantly increase. So healthy food is kind of out the door.
For sure.
Anything else? Any other things?
No, I think my number one is my motivation though, for sure. Like if I was motivated enough, I'm pretty sure I can like kick the whole cravings and be more focused, but I'm just really stuck on getting motivated again.
Okay. And then what about you, Gladys? Do you have anything to share?
Well, right now I'm pregnant, so I can't really do too much because you already know I gotta eat whatever I want. But once I finish giving birth, that's the problem right there. That I don't have time to go to the gym, and then I lose. Like I don't really want to eat healthy. And when I do eat healthy, it's like it's boring.
Yeah.
And when you eat healthy, what are the things that you consider to be healthy food?
Well, I make shakes. That's the only way I can really eat greens. So I make my green shakes with strawberry and bananas, and that gets tiring at times. That's the only way I really eat greens.
Okay. And when you're making your shakes with greens, are you usually combining it with also, or is it just greens? What do you mean?
No, I gotta have that taste, that strawberry and bananas taste.
Okay. Have you experimented at all with researching time, or is it that you just try to think of things?
Well, I had this lady tell me how to eat before I got pregnant the first time. I lost 15 pounds in 15 days because I was in a strict diet with her. But I ended up getting pregnant at that time, so I stopped altogether. And she was telling me how to eat, wasn't eating no meat at all. It was just strictly greens, but I wasn't really cooking the greens.
Okay. And typically now, when you think of exercising, is it something like on a scale of 1 to 10, is it something that is 10 being a significant chore, or is it more of on a scale of closer to 1, where, or let me reverse that, 1 being a significant chore, or is it closer to a 10 where you're so excited to exercise?
I actually love exercising. It's one of the things that I really like doing.
Okay.
It's just the time, and now with the kid, with the baby, it's like it's so difficult since I'm tired now.
How old is the baby?
She's 10 months, and I'm about to have another one too. So it's like don't know what's gonna happen after I give birth to the second one.
Okay. When
I was really going hard before I gave birth.
Okay. When are you due with the next baby?
December 17th.
Oh, our birthday is December 9th. You're gonna be a Sagittarius like me.
Yeah.
And Sashinette, do you also, you said you also have 1 or 2 children?
I have 2 boys.
2 boys, and how old are your boys?
11 and 6.
Okay. And Sunita, did you join us? I see you on the screen. Can you see and hear me? Send me a message if you can see or hear me. You're there?
Yeah.
Hi. Finally.
Trying to figure it out. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, I don't have it on my video.
You don't have the webcam on for the video?
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal. They just shared with me their 3 biggest obstacles with exercising and or eating healthy on a consistent basis. Off the top of your head, can you also share at least 1 or 2 of your top obstacles?
Definitely, I guess kind of balancing eating at proper times, I guess. I mean, one of my biggest things, I'm one of those people, I'm running all day. I come in and I may start eating about 9 o'clock at night for dinner or whatever. So that's like one of the biggest things that I know I need to work through. But also just kind of planning out meals and, just knowing kind of what's the best breakfast. Like right now, I normally eat like maybe oatmeal or a couple of boiled eggs or something for breakfast, and then like maybe 3 times a week I go work out in the morning or whatever. So just knowing, should I be heavy on a certain food group before going to do exercise or those type things.
Okay, and then I asked them the same question on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being exercise is a chore and 10 being that you love and it's exciting for you. Where do you fall on that scale?
Probably midway. I am just kind of getting back into exercising. I've started spin and I do enjoy that. I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you say you just started skiing? Is that what you said?
Spinning.
Oh, spinning. Okay.
Yeah. And so I do enjoy that. My original goal was like maybe 1 or 2 visits, but now I'm up to like 4 or 5 visits per week. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little story when I took a spin class. This was years ago. I'll be 38 in December. So this was probably when I was about 22. And I went into a spin class at the YMCA where I was living at, or not 22, I was about 25. I went to a spin class at the YMCA where I used to live. And I went in there and I called myself, semi-healthy, After about 5 minutes, I said, oh, this is not for me. And I'm looking around at everybody else just going at it. And I'm like, first of all, the seat hurt.
Yes.
And then the instructor was just so high intensity that I literally, after about 5 minutes, I said, I'm going to try to last this out for 30 minutes, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I literally, after probably about 10 minutes at the most, I'm rounding up when I say 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I don't care how long I'm about to be out of this spin class. And I'm never coming back. I have not been to a spin class since then. So it's been over 10 years. I haven't been back to a spin class. So anytime people tell me that they love spinning. Those are the people in my mind, yeah, they get much props. But it's a really good, like biking in general is a really good exercise in general. And then when you can handle those spin classes, people typically tell me that the weight falls off pretty quickly because they're in there with a group of people and they're motivated by the people around them. And then it pretty much, I don't know what your spin class is like, but it pretty much stays high intensity the whole way through. So it's a good option if you like it. Do you find that you have to use a seat cushion, or is it okay the way it is for you?
No, my very first class, my instructor, she was brutally honest, and she was like, it's gonna hurt, but you're building muscle. And like, she didn't recommend, because another person that was taking the class was like, we have seat, because she was like, no, I want her to feel it and get used to it, because she's building a muscle that's not used very often. And she was like, you do what you can. I think she said at minimal you're burning like 200 calories or something. She said if you push the whole way through, and of course that increases if you do more of, you know, what you're led to do, because they do jumps, they do like Tabatas where you count up, go fast, blah blah blah. And so, I mean, like, she was brutally honest, but she was very motivating at the same time, whatever. And she was like, you may not think you're doing much or whatever, but you are. And you'll see a difference each time. It'll get a little bit easier. And that was true for me. Each time it got a little bit more easy or whatever. Like the first time I had a tough time just kind of keeping in motion, but the second time I did better with that, and I even tried a couple of the stands. So she was like, I noticed you went a little bit longer, I noticed you tried to do the stands, that's good. And she, you know, so she was real encouraging or whatever, so that made it good or whatever. But I'll tell you, the first class that I took, it was tough. I stuck it out through the whole class. But when I got off the bike, I looked down at myself to see if anything changed, because I felt like I really had worked out. I was like, I lost something. Something changed. My friend, this was like in July. My friend, she was going to the class or whatever. And I told her I had been interested when it first came out, but I never tried or whatever. She was like, well, come on and go with me. So that was back in July, and she took me to my first class, and she was like, what are you looking at? I said, I was just looking to see if anything changed, because that was brutal.
Yeah, it's a really good, if you can handle it, that's a really good class. And like you just said, you would burn about 200 calories at the bare minimum. That's without even full force, about 200 calories at the bare minimum.
Right.
Thank you guys for sharing. I wanted to just get a feel for, what previous patterns have been and how much you enjoy exercise and eating healthy now. Because what I've noticed is that a lot of times when people, they come in and they do these webinars or they do different classes that I might teach, they come in with a different skill level, a different fitness level. But one of the main common factors between everybody is that they just don't seem to have enough time to implement the changes, whether that's exercise or eating healthy. And people are different in terms of which one they like the most. I'll talk to people that prefer to just eat healthy and never exercise. And then I'll talk to people that are just the opposite. They love to exercise, and for them to eat healthy is a big task or a chore for them. But the common factor in terms of both typically is time. I don't have time to cook. I don't really want to cook, so I don't want to make the time to cook. Or I don't have time to exercise, and I really don't like it, so I don't want to do it because I don't even enjoy it. But I think a part of that too is finding something that you enjoy. Like you were just telling me, Sunita, with the spin class. Now, if somebody told me to join a spin class, I would look at them like they're crazy, and I'd probably never exercise if I thought that was my only option. But you found something that you enjoy, and you're saying that now you said 3 to 4 days a week?
At least 3 days. Sometimes I make it 4 or 5. This week was like 4. Last week it was 5. So it varies, but I try to get at least 3 in, because the instructors are different, but the 3 classes that I'm really committed to, I really like her style. So So that's why I say at least 3 classes I try to make it to. And one of them is a 6 a.m. class. So
Wow.
So far, I've been making it, but that's the thing that would make me not make the class that I just woke up too late or something.
Okay. So there you go. Different strokes for different folks. Because telling me to get up at 6 a.m., I'd work out probably twice a year. Telling me to go to spin class, I might work out once a year. But I consistently exercise, and that's because I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. And I think that's definitely key. We're going to today talk more about food, but it works the same exact way with food. If you can't enjoy what you're eating, I think it was Gladys, you said that when you eat healthy, it tends to be boring for you. So of course you're not going to eat healthy for long if when you're eating it, it's not enjoyable. Everybody, when they sit down and eat a plate of food, they want to enjoy what they're eating. So what we're going to talk about today not only applies to getting your kids to enjoy eating healthier, but it also applies to yourself. And you're really the one that's preparing their food. I don't know too many, 2 and 3-year-olds or even 8-year-olds that are preparing food for the family. Just to tell you guys a little bit about me and why I started teaching these webinars and why I feel like it's important is because I did not always eat healthy. I ate semi-healthy growing up, but then by the time I got to an age where I could cook my own meals, about high school age into college, I didn't eat healthy. I ate what was convenient and what tasted good. And because I wasn't excessively overweight, it didn't really faze me. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't have a problem with it, and I didn't really make the connection between what I ate and my my body weight or the way I fit into my clothes until I had my daughter. She's now 7. She just turned 7 in June. When I had my daughter at the age of 30, she pushed me into looking online and looking up different clean eating recipes and how to make things taste better and still be healthy, because I didn't lose the weight as quickly with her as I did with my son, who was 2.5 years older than her. And I didn't want to go out and now purchase brand new clothes for my wardrobe. So I said, well, let me go online and look up the key terms of how to lose belly fat, all those things that you see in magazines and online. And everything pointed to the same thing. They all pointed to exercise and eat healthy, but not only eat healthy, eat a lot of whole grains, eat a lot of vegetables, eat some fruit, and just eat healthy. It wasn't pointing to drink diet shake and put Crystal Light in your water, and it wasn't pointing to all the fat-free and low-calorie processed foods that a lot of people turn to when it's time for them to lose weight. And so that's when I started to learn a little bit more. I've always been semi-active. I've enjoyed being active, but I wasn't always one to value nutrition. This is my daughter here. This is Sade. She's the one I was just talking about. So when she was born, she was the reason why I couldn't lose belly fat so quickly. Go get Kaiden. So because I started to research how to eat healthier, I also noticed that I'm somebody that I love a lot of flavor in my food. And I noticed that when you go to the restaurant and you eat foods from other cultures outside of America, they can make a healthy meal taste good, and it consists of a lot of vegetables. But we as a whole in America think salad when we think of healthy food, or bland food when we think of healthy food. So this is my son. This is the one I always talk about in my advertisement that doesn't really like vegetables at all. But what he doesn't realize is that I would make him vegetables in certain ways, like what I'm going to show you today. I would make him vegetables in certain ways that he can't taste the vegetables. And so he's now more likely to really want it because he likes the food that I'm preparing, not realizing that it's consisting of vegetables. Okay? Make sense? So one thing I'm going to show y'all today is super, super duper easy. I have other recipes that I'm going to show on future webinars. If you're interested in joining any of those, I'll be showing you different desserts and also different lunches and dinners that you can make. But one of the things that I always show, or I show often, is a particular dish, and I'm gonna let y'all guess. Is a particular dish that you typically see at Sunday dinners, or at Thanksgiving meal, or a Christmas meal, maybe an Easter meal. It's a very common dish that a lot of children like. I'm gonna make it with butternut squash. Can you see that? Cauliflower and cashew milk. And there's one other ingredient, but I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. Oh, well, let me tell you this. Oh, and some butter. There's one main ingredient that I haven't told y'all about. But what is one dish that you typically see a lot at Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, Easter dinner, or a Sunday, just a general Sunday dinner that kids love to eat? A lot of kids, not every kid, but a lot of kids love to eat.
Macaroni?
You want to guess? You can't tell them. She sees the other ingredient here, plus she knows what it is already. Anybody want to take a wild guess? I'll give you one more clue. You also add cheese to it.
Macaroni?
Yes. We are going to, I'm going to show you how to make macaroni and cheese.
No, it's not. It's butternut squash mac.
Yes, to be exact, she said it's butternut squash, macaroni and cheese. Now,
I'm here for it.
You said you don't care for it?
I said I'm here for it.
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, you had it? So this is what I did today. I bought this package of butternut squash. I don't know, like Sasha, you live in Canada, so I don't know if do y'all have Target?
No, not anymore.
I got this from Target, but you can get this probably at any grocery store. Now, I've done this in the past. I just go to a regular produce section of the grocery store and buy a butternut squash, bake it for about 30 to 40 minutes. You guys are going to have the recipe, so don't feel like you have to write anything down right now. But I bake the butternut squash in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. I cut it lengthwise, and when it's done, and then I scoop out the inside, and I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to blend it. But if you don't have the time to do all that, because like you guys just said, time is of the essence in a lot of cases. You don't have the time to do all that. This works just as good. It's already, I don't know if you can see that, but it's already cubed up for you. So all you need to do is open up the container and the little plastic bag and put it in the blender. And like I said, you guys are going to have the recipe, so you don't have to feel like you have to write all this down. But we're going to put in, I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. We're going to put in, I put in half of this bag because I'm not making a huge pan of macaroni and cheese, but I'm going to put in half of this. And then we've got the cauliflower florets. Now, as you said, time is of the essence. So this is already steamed. But if you wanted it to be like, you miss homemaker, you can just buy a regular head of cauliflower and put it in the blender that way. Just chop it up real small and put it in the blender. Break it apart. All right, so we're gonna I'm gonna show y'all the amounts in a second. I'm gonna put about half of this bag in here as well.
So is the squash already halfway cooked too?
Yes, this particular one, see it says steamed in a bag. This particular one is already steamed too.
Right there.
Wow.
So if it was a day where you were tired and didn't feel like doing all that, put it in the oven and now wait 30 to 40 minutes, this is another alternative to that. Now, some people are vegan or vegetarians that want to be. You're not vegan. Some people are vegan or vegetarians that want to be. Hey, somebody just joined us. Is that
Zoe? Zoe.
Not Zoe. It's Z. Hi. Can you see and hear me? Wave if you can see and hear me.
Oh.
I can see you. Did you send me a message? Darvonia, can you see and hear me okay? Can you see me? Wave if you can see me. Okay. I don't know if she can see it in here or not. Send me a message if you can. I'll send you a message. Okay, anyway, as we were talking about, time is of the essence. So if you don't want to go out and get the full cauliflower head, Z, can you see me now? Can you see me? No, you can't hear. Log out and come back in. Log out and come back in. Let me, you guys, 1 second. Let me just send her a message telling her to log out.
Or you could come back. What you talking about? There's only one person there.
Okay. Now. Okay, you're back. Can you see me now? Okay, as I was saying, some people are vegan. And so I don't necessarily say that you have to make this with regular whole cow milk. You can use cashew milk as well. Has anybody tried this?
No.
Almond here.
Yeah.
Almond, not cashew.
Almond milk? Okay. You could use almond milk if you wanted to. Some people have even told me they've used coconut milk just to give it a sweeter flavor. Okay, but we're going to use the cashew milk for this.
Just to point out, almond milk is better than cashew milk. They said it's bad.
She's got food in her mouth, but what she said, just to point out, almond milk is much better than cashew milk, and cashew milk is bad. So you're gonna find that when you drink cashew milk, it's not gonna have that same. It's not gonna have that same taste as almond milk. Almond milk to me is a little bit sweeter. It's just a different taste to it. But cashew milk is still a good option if you're gonna make something where you can't taste the milk in it. So if you're gonna make oatmeal or something like this, that you need something with a creamy texture to it, this is a good option. Can you see it here now? I see it back on. Can you see me? Can you see?
Hi.
Hi. I was making sure you can see it here okay. So I'm showing them how to make butternut squash, macaroni and cheese. And what I've done so far, I'm gonna show y'all, is I've added butternut squash. This is only about half of this container here because I'm not making a huge pot or a huge pan of macaroni and cheese. But I've got, y'all can see this, butternut squash and cauliflower. And this is already prepared, steamed in a bag. But you can choose to buy the big butternut squash or the big head of cauliflower and cut it up just like this if you want to. The next thing I'm gonna do, and I'm not measuring, y'all are gonna have the recipe for this, but I kind of have an idea of how to make it, so I'm not measuring. But now I'm gonna add the cashew milk to it. And this is so that when I blend it, it's easy to blend. I don't think there's enough butternut squash in there for me, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Then, do you guys eat butter? Everybody eat butter?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a good brand that is without hormones and all that other stuff that some people may not want. It's Kerrygold. And this is, like I said, this is gonna be in the recipe. You don't have to write this down. But the one thing I don't like about it is that it's really hard unless you leave it sitting out on the counter for a little bit. So I'm just gonna take one heaping spoonful of the butter. Then, for those of you that are vegan that are listening to the replay, or if any of you choose to ever be vegan, you can use vegan cheese. But there's also a video that I can share with you guys that's off of a YouTube channel called Superfood Kids. And this is an 11-year-old girl that teaches people how to make vegan dishes. The foods that you naturally enjoy, that taste like they're vegan. And one of the ones is macaroni and cheese. So you can either use vegan cheese, or you can use her recipe that I'll share you guys I'll share with you guys the link a little bit later. All right, so I'm adding my cheese to the blender. Now, keep in mind that this idea works with other vegetables. I'm showing you with macaroni and cheese, but this also works with other vegetables. So say, for instance, you wanted them to eat some spinach, but they don't like spinach. What you can do is take a bunch of spinach and take another vegetable like zucchini, for example, that doesn't really have a real strong, bitter taste to it. Take that and do the same thing I'm about to show you with this. Simply blend it in the blender, make your noodles, and then you'll mix it all together and put some cheese on top. And they can't taste the fact that they're eating zucchini and spinach. All right? So this is what my concoction looks like right here. I might have to add a little bit more milk to that. I think I do before I blend it. And then I'll show y'all what this looks like. Typically, you want to puree it, but I'm gonna push the blend feature first just to get it going quickly, and then I'll puree a little bit more. And then if you wanted to, you could already have the salt and pepper in here. Blend in the salt and pepper along with it. I didn't add any to this, but you can keep that an option. So this is what it looks like. This is a little light because I didn't add in quite as much of the butternut squash, but if I added in more, it would be a little bit more. Another thing you can add to this is sweet potato. So how many of you like sweet potatoes?
I love sweet potatoes.
I do. So some people, depending on what kind of taste you might have, make it a little bit. That's another option that you can put in there. It's still going to be that orange color that. TV on. Oh, that's Gladys. I forgot you were looking at TV.
That's why I keep muting it.
That's okay. That's not a big deal. That's okay. All right. So now that we've gotten everything blended, you guys, this is so easy. First of all, you saw it took me 5 minutes to do this. So while you're getting all of your vegetables and everything together, you would be making your noodles on the stove. Now, this is what I chose. The bow tie noodles. You can choose anything. And all you're gonna do is take your pan and just do it like you would with regular macaroni and cheese. You know, you put in the noodles and then pour this on top of it. And then you put it in the oven for as long as you typically would to make macaroni and cheese. But the difference is that you're getting in additional nutrients and vitamins because you added in the butternut squash and cauliflower. Make sense? So typically, if you were to give your child or yourself, if you were to give your child cauliflower and butternut squash, you said, here you go. Here you go. You want this? No. He's not going to want to eat that like that. He's going to say, well, where are the chips? So this way, they're still getting in the nutrients. And this cashew milk also has more nutrients in it. Or if you were to use almond milk or coconut milk even, has more nutrients in it than cow milk. So when my kids drank almond milk for the first time, they really didn't like it. But I gave it to them a couple more times, and they actually prefer that now over the cow milk. So that's basically what I give them. When they eat cereal, that's what I'm giving them, that almond milk. So the more that you're adding nutrients into your food, the more likely it is that you're going to get nutrients. Now, I could have just made regular pure macaroni and cheese with the macaroni, the butter, and just regular cow milk. But they would have been lacking all of the extra nutrients in this butternut squash. So let me explain to you what's in this, the vitamins that's in this. It's 180% daily value of vitamin A, 30% vitamin C, 4% calcium, and 4% iron. So you see that mostly it's consisting of additional vitamin A. The cauliflower has 70% daily value of vitamin C. So all of those additional nutrients that you're getting in this mac and cheese, they typically wouldn't have gotten, but they're still eating it. Now, the other argument is people will say, well, once you cook it, aren't you cooking out some of the nutrients? Yeah, you are cooking out some of the nutrients, but what's better, to get some nutrients or get none at all? Because your other option was to not make it at all, just leave it out. And if you put it on your plate, they may or may not say that they want it. Make sense? I'm going to show you guys, or tell you guys a couple of do's and don'ts. Because kids can be extremely manipulative, right? When you tell a child no, what do they typically want to do?
They want to do it.
Yeah.
Even a lot of adults. You tell them no, you can't do it, or no, you can't have it. That's exactly what they want. People want what they can't have. So because kids can be extremely manipulative, there are some tactics that you can use to get them to eat vegetables a little bit quicker than if you had tried some of these other tactics that many parents use on a repetitive basis. One thing that you got to keep in mind is that persistence is key. Okay, and you guys are gonna, if you want to write these notes down, you can. If not, then I can email them to you, so you'll have them. You'll have them emailed. And the last time I did this particular webinar, there are some additional things that I'm going to share with you guys that I didn't even tell them in the last webinar. One thing is that persistence is key. So typically, it could take up to 10 times for kids to develop a taste for food. Up to 10 times. And what a lot of parents will do that they tell me that they do is they'll say, well, I've given my child zucchini before and they didn't like it. So they never give it to them again. But it can take up to 10 times for them to like it. Remember a couple minutes ago I said with the almond milk, at first my kids didn't like it. So imagine if I then said, well, I'm just never going to give them almond milk because they said they don't like it. I tried it a couple more times and now they actually prefer that over the cow milk when they eat their cereal. Okay, that's just one example of how, being persistent can help. Also, once they start eating healthier, you'll notice that their taste buds change anyway. So just be persistent with what you're giving them, all right? Number 2, you want to use words. The kids like encouragement. So you want to use words like, oh, if you eat your, whatever it is, broccoli or zucchini or spinach or whatever, you're going to get stronger, or you're going to get taller, or if it's a female, you're going to get more princess-like. They like encouragement in that way. Not you're going to get healthier, because to a child, healthier is like,
whatever.
okay, I'm getting healthier. But even for an adult, when you tell somebody they're going to get healthier, in their mind, as long as they're not feeling sick, for you to say I'm going to get healthier doesn't mean a whole lot, because they don't feel sick physically. They may be sick internally. Like if they could open up their body and look at their organs, they may then change their mind and say, oh, I do need to get healthier, because then they can physically see damages being done to their organs. But typically it takes a little bit of time for those physical symptoms to manifest. So if you're telling them, a 5-year-old, eat your vegetables because you're going to get healthier, that doesn't mean anything to them. It's too ambiguous. So you would say things like, wow, you look like you're getting stronger, or you look like you are getting as tall as dad now, or whatever it is that you think would help motivate them to do it. With my son and daughter, it could be a little bit of competition also. With my son and daughter, my daughter liked almonds, but my son did not. So when they went online one day and they found out that eating almonds could extend your life, whether it can or not, that's what they read. They found out that eating almonds can extend your life. My son then said, oh, give me those almonds, because he didn't want his sister to outlive him. So sometimes if you have more than one child, it could be a sense of competition with them too. Like, oh, you're getting real strong because you're starting to eat your broccoli or zucchini or whatever it is. All right. The next thing is to try different cooking methods. So like I told you, if I was to give my son or daughter this butternut squash and tell them go sit down and eat your snack, they would look at me like I was crazy because this doesn't have much flavor on its own. But when I put it in the macaroni and cheese, they're still getting the nutrients from it, and they can't taste it. Same thing with zucchini. My son only likes zucchini if I put it on the grill. It's the only way he'll eat it, but he'll eat it consistently and enjoy it when I put it on the grill. So if I said one day, I made it a different way, and I said one day, I'm not going to give it to him at all because he doesn't like it, without exploring other ways to make it, then he will probably never have zucchini in his life. Because in his mind and in my mind, he just doesn't like it. So you can dice it. I've put it in spaghetti before. Just cut it real small and put it in spaghetti, and he's still able to eat it, but he's got the other flavors around in the spaghetti soaking it, but still getting those nutrients. As I said before, yes, the argument could be, well, you would get more nutrients if you were to eat it raw, but typically, because we know that many people are not going to eat it raw, because we know that, you have to think outside the box and think more creatively with how to add in nutrients without always having to sit there and eat it out of the package raw. All right? This is extremely important. Give them options of vegetables, but not too many options of vegetables. So when a child is engaged in the process, when you say to them, we're going to eat vegetables, but would you prefer cabbage or carrots tonight, cooked carrots? Which one do you prefer? They're more likely to feel like because they're engaged, they have a choice in the matter, and they'll pick one or the other, as opposed to saying, we're having cabbage tonight, and that's all we have, and that's what you're going to get to eat, and then they still not eat the cabbage. You're not always going to be able to give them those two options if you don't always have two vegetables available. But if you do happen to have two available that are quick and easy for you to make, giving them two options makes them feel like they're more engaged in part of the process, so they're more likely to eat the vegetables that way. You want green beans or you want corn tonight? Which one? Because you're going to have one or the other. Not a lot of nutrients in corn, but you get what I'm trying to say. The other thing is, make sure you're consistently offering it on the plate whether they eat it or not. Because what this does is it helps with learned behavior. They're going to grow up to be the kind of child that says, well, I've always seen vegetables on my plate, and that's what I expect to see. So they're not necessarily eating all of it, but they're so used to seeing it from the time that they were an infant that they think that it should belong on the plate. So they're going to be the adult later on in life saying that I should be eating vegetables because that's the expectation. When you sit down and eat a plate of food, you should have vegetables on your plate. You should eat them. They're going to probably, like I used to do when I was a kid, there are some vegetables that my mom made I didn't like. So what they're probably going to end up doing is eating it with the other things on their plate. For example, macaroni and cheese at the same time that they're eating the carrots. The other thing is, make sure that you're always putting vegetables on the plate, but sometimes it helps if you put less of the carb, or like the macaroni and cheese, for example, or if you eat chicken, for example, or fish, or whatever it is. Put less of those items on the plate that way, they're not sitting there getting full off of the mashed potatoes or the macaroni and cheese or whatever. And now it's time to eat the vegetable. But they're already full. They're not going to eat it. It's just going to sit there on the plate. To put less of that, the hungrier they are, the more likely it is that they're going to eat it. That leads into the next thing. Do not have them snack on other foods while you're preparing dinner. Because when they get full, or at least semi-full off of those other foods, how likely do you think it is that they're going to sit now and eat that vegetable that they don't enjoy? If you're going to give them something to eat before dinner, make sure it's something like watermelon or some grapes that you know is not going to fill them up. And it's just a small handful to make it feel like they're eating something, but still leaves their appetite craving the food that you're preparing on the stove, okay? Now, this is a trick that worked for my son, but you cannot do this with just about any food. You want to make sure that when you reward them with a food, don't say, I'll give you a cupcake if you eat your vegetables tonight. A lot of parents do that. A lot of parents do that. Because what it does is it makes them still think that the vegetables are bad, essentially, okay? And yes, it's going to make them feel like the vegetables are bad, but if you can pair it with a healthier choice than a cupcake, then there is not such a big difference between eating healthy and not eating my cupcake. Pair is something that's still considered healthy that they enjoy. So with my son, he loves watermelon, loves it. It's almost to the point that if I gave him watermelon and I put it next to a cake, he's probably going to pick the watermelon because that's how much he likes it. You can do this with your child as well. Think of a fruit that they really enjoy and say, if you're going to do that, say, if you eat your vegetables, then I'm going to give you the watermelon or peaches, whatever it is. I tried that with my son, and do you know the plate of peas? He would probably sit eat the whole entire plate of peas alone. The plate of peas would be gone in 2 minutes flat. But I don't want him to think of the cupcake as a reward. I want him to still think of something that's a healthier food option for him. Okay? This is extremely important as well. Don't try to control your kids' hunger cues. And the reason why I say this is because occasionally, if you think about yourself, occasionally you're hungry, and other times you're not so hungry. And it may or may not have anything to do with the amount of food that you ate that day. It could be for a variety of reasons why you may or may not be hungry at a particular time in the day. And it works the same way with children. There may be times in the day where they're just not hungry. So instead of saying, no, you're going to eat because it's dinner time and I know you're hungry, give them a smaller portion and don't place as much emphasis on you have to eat the entire plate right then. Because for some people, even adults, you may be fine with eating a smaller portion now and then 30 minutes later finishing the rest of your plate. And that has a lot to do with the way that we all metabolize food. And it works the same way, it does work the same way with children. They're human beings just like us. So you just have to be conscious of that. Additionally, when it's time to go out to family gatherings and events, or you have people come over to the house, don't ostracize the child that you perceive as having to either gain weight or lose weight from everybody else. If they want to sit and eat 2 pieces of cake because everybody else is eating 2 pieces of cake, let them enjoy their 2 pieces of cake in that public event. Because what happens is when you begin to ostracize them too often and restrict certain foods too often in terms of like an event, like a gathering, adults can do this. You'll hear many times adults will say things like, no, I'm not going to eat the cake at a birthday party because I know that I'm going to gain weight just by looking at it, for example. And so sometimes people will do that with their children. But with a child, whatever they want at the public event, because what ends up happening is if they do that too often, they grow up into that whole emotional eating or closet eating mentality, where they then want to sneak the item as opposed to just enjoying it and going on with life. Okay, makes sense? Anybody have a question about anything I've said so far before I go on?
Can they really not taste the butternut squash and cauliflower?
Huh?
Can they really not taste the butternut squash and cauliflower? Because I'm looking at that, I'm like, because usually, you know, your macaroni and cheese, it's a little bit creamier. Is the consistency similar to what you're used to do?
Yeah, you guys can't really see this that well, but this one is a little bit more creamier than the last one that I made. And it's all dependent on how much cheese and how much cashew milk you put in. When I made this the last time, this one is actually a little bit creamier. And the last time I asked both of my kids, can you taste anything else in it? And they both said no. And if anybody is going to tell me that they can taste something in it, it's going to be my son. I can't trick him. He will let me know. If he can taste other stuff in it, he'll definitely let me know. So I think it depends on how much you put in. If you're putting in more of the vegetables than you are the cheese, then yeah, it's just going to taste like a vegetable pasta. But that's why I'm giving you guys a recipe. Stick with the recipe, and you can alter it according to your taste buds, you know, just like any other recipe, but stick with the recipe. You gotta be conscious of how much of each item you're putting in. I didn't measure just now because I am gonna give you the recipe, and because of the fact that I can kind of eyeball. I've made it enough now that I can eyeball how much of everything I need. But remember also that when you make it, you can taste it as you go as well. So if you feel like you need to add a little bit more salt to it to give it more punch, then you could do that too.
Okay.
Cool.
Just experiment with the amounts. Is the main thing I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about hunger cues, because for a lot of people, they can't eat healthy for a long period of time because you hear the same thing over and over again. I'm always starving when I'm eating healthy, or I tend to have sugar cravings up and down throughout the day. And so I tend to indulge in eating a cheeseburger when it's time to sit down and eat. Or I tried dieting one time before and it only lasted for 2 to 3 days because I just felt myself craving the wrong types of foods all the time. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to resolve that. I'm going to end this recording because the people that are listening to the replay, I don't want it to be extra long for those.
Okay.
But you guys stay on till the end. Thank you guys for showing up, all of the people that are listening to the replay. If you have questions, make sure you send me an email to Ebony, Ebonie, @simplicityhealthstyle.com, or join my Nutrition for Busy Women group. It's Nutrition, the number 4, Busy Women, Facebook, and I'll answer your questions. All right.